This is a sub-art beekeeper, one of the many. I'll stop saying that soon, I promise. But got to get awareness up. There's a lot of us out here that overwinter our bees for over 100 years. Got my smoker going. We've come to an agreement. It's made me a shallow promise to keep going. My nose is running. Temperature is in the low 40s, and it's not going to get any warmer from here on out. Happy equinox. The equinoxes and the solstices mean something to us up here because they're very concrete. Although, maybe not. Winter solstice is the darkest night of the year, and the light starts coming back. Summer solstice is the brightest day of the year, 24 hours of daylight. We are the land of the midnight sun. And then the darkness starts to come very slowly. This is autumn equinox, which means we've got about 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. You guys might be in a warm area. I don't know. But for us, it is time to clean it up. This is my best producing hive, and I'm going to mine it for super stores. This is a honey super, and in there are frames, and I've been letting them eat the nectar. They've been making the stores or the reserves from the sugar syrup I've been feeding them. Honey was pulled a while ago. Last time I was in this hive, our dog decided to stick her nose in it, and she got her butt whooped by a bunch of six-leggeds who weren't afraid of her small four-legged self. I've got my supplies here. Been burning some smoke for a few minutes, making sure I don't trip over anything. I've got a working table over here. Always make sure your stuff is all sorted out before you open the doors when it's this chilly outside. There's not a lot of foraging going on, but there's nothing to forage. All the stuff that came to bloom late summer is gone. We've had a couple of freezing nights, which can be good because it means that things are slowing down. I'm going to check this hive over, and I'm going to pull out any frames that are in here that are full. I'm going to use them in some small nuke hives I got. I didn't think I ordered them, but apparently I did. I paid for them, but their nuke hives are normally 10 inches high. These are about 8 inches high, maybe 6 inches high. Well, actually, they're the same height as a honey super. And I had this idea a couple of years ago of overwintering bees, a small colony, in a honey super, because heat rises. If you've got a short structure, the heat's all there. So it feels like it would work. It seems like it would work. At that time, when it came to me, I had already had a honey super on and a hive that got so large that it produced another queen above the queen excluder. So I had 2 queens in one hive. And I thought, why don't I just keep them in there? They've got enough stores, they've got the queen, and I could put a second honey super on. I winter my hives in a bee barn. But I thought if I need to, I could put another honey super on of extra stores if they need it. Or I could just leave them be. Well, I think this year I'm going to experiment. I'm going to, against my better judgment, take in some colonies from someone who doesn't want to overwinter their bees. He's got 30 hives, maybe? Pretty expensive at $250 a colony. He's going to give them the old soapy water suffocation treatment. You know, he's got to do him, I've got to do me. He's offered the colonies to me. They've all got queens, strong queens. And as you know, I've had some queen issues this year. I've had really great queens, but some of them have left. Interesting, in a class I'm taking right now, I have learned that queens will only leave the hive when they're mating and when they're swarming. So I asked, are you sure? It's an online class, so I typed in, are you sure? Is this really the only 2 times a queen would leave the hive? Because sometimes we'll say our queen has absconded, which means she has left. She's gone. I think I've had 3 of those. 3 of my glorious red queens have disappeared. And I know that I've seen queens flying around because I've caught them before. And I bought a queen from someone who said he opened his box, his deep box, to pull out a queen, an extra queen he had. And she flew out, flew around him, and flew back in. I think it's different wherever you go. Beekeeping is local. That's what that statement means. Beekeeping is highly significant to your area. Bees do different things in different areas. They're the same creature, just like humans. You know, our anatomy and physiology is the same wherever we are. But it does different things in different areas. Warmer places, colder places, etc. I'm not letting this smoker go out today. It's not going to happen. And so, got my table, got a big piece of foam board insulation down on the ground. These gals have just been busting their booties all summer long. I'm going to need to take off this feeder. It's just about empty. Good. There's not many bees feeding. Well, they can't get to it, so I guess that makes a big difference. But they've drained it pretty much. And this is 2-to-1 sugar syrup in here, which is much easier to make into the fake honey that they make to sustain themselves. It's not the honey that you get from your local Southeast Asian beekeeping importation place. I only say that because there's been lots of scandals over the years. Some countries have been feeding their bees high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup, and corn syrup. And then the bees put it up just like they're putting together these reserves for winter. And somebody sticks them in a jar and imports them in a giant metal container into the United States, labeled as honey. On Netflix, there's a special on this. It's called Rotten. And it's very good. It's 1 episode. But it talks about how with honey, since it's this, I think, the 3rd most faked food in the world, people can make big money with the honey because the demand is much higher than we are able to produce in this country. Plus, we've been having a lot of problems with our bees in this country. God help us. God help us if we can't keep the 6-leggeds alive, you know? Anyway. Not anyway. When they are only eating one type of food, it's called a mono diet. Like when they're only eating almond blossoms, or apple blossoms, or orange blossoms, or clover. When their diet is made up of one food, this seems to me to be common sense. They're not healthy. It's like if all I ate were it would be like if all I ate was kale and chard, decent by themselves, but not made to meet all of my nutritional needs. So when bees don't get a varied diet, their immune systems suffer and they fall prey to various diseases and other horrible things. And our country is known all over the world for not only doing stupid things, selfish things, some great things, but money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Things to make more money. The almighty American dollar. Can you see this hive? It is gigantically full of bees. I'm going to try to drive them down with the smoke. They're going to be highly protective. It's chilly. All the heat from their hive is rising out right now and going to the heavens. I need to take a picture first. back to the honey thing. So if I am a honey producer, honey farmer, this picture's already misleading because it's showing me if the bees are half gone already. They're already half down. I'm a honey producer, and people want 29 barrels of my great Washington State, Michigan, Florida, whatever honey. Say they want to buy 30 barrels. And my bees are only producing 10, but they're 10, and they're organic, and they're great. Well, I could import some honey from China, Russia, no, yes. Russia wouldn't tell people that what they're selling is really honey when it's not honey, would they? No. Yes, they would. Anyway, my political commentary. I could buy a couple of those big metal, gigantic containers of their fake honey, mix it with my real honey, and call it organic honey, and raw, and local. What? That makes no sense. And then so when you're at the store buying your honey, and you're getting your quart of honey, 32 ounces, by the way, for 10 bucks, that's what you're getting, sister and brother. Because we can't make the real thing selling at 10 bucks a quart. You want to know how much it sells for up here? I don't know if you do. If I sold my quart of honey at the farmer's market, 45 bucks. And that's low. If you buy it from the local health food store, $65 to $85 for a quart for fresh, local, raw honey. And that means whoever's buying it knows who the beekeeper is, what's in it, when it was made, where it was made. It wasn't imported. Where was I? Little creatures in the woods. So beekeeping is not an inexpensive business. And if it becomes more expensive than what we can make, then we're not going to do it. Because we're working all the freaking time, as you could see. Lots of propolis. Holy crow, this is heavy. That's good. I'm going to have to use my hive tool to break the seal that they've put in here to keep the drafts out so I can lift up this honey super. So keep those things in mind when you're buying honey. I was at Costco. Bees are getting upset. Looking at the honey they sell. Don't get me wrong, I love Costco. I can buy my 50-pound bags of sugar to feed my bees there for almost 50 bucks. It's a bargain. Because they're fed sugar to get ready for winter. These bees don't want me in here. They don't. But this is about the warmest and driest we're going to get until the snow flies. And then I don't want to open these hives at all. I want them shut now. And those containers of sugar from Costco that cost you 10 bucks, 20 bucks. Oh, son of a gun. This is going to be a battle, and I don't want it to be. Breathe. I'm going to be taking some for the team today, I think. But whenever I say that, it doesn't happen. They got a lot of propolis going on. We've had some chilly nights. Some real chilly nights. If there was another person helping me, this would be much easier. Alas, there is not. I want the... Oh, God. I'm going to have to slide this off, which means some bees are going to take it for the team, which means the alarm pheromone is going to be released, which means that they're going to go in defense mode. The alarm pheromone smells like bananas. So don't be eating a lot of bananas when you're taking care of your hives. Don't leave them out for the bees to eat. I know people leave watermelon and stuff out, and that's all great and cute. Just don't leave the bananas. So I am going to put this box. They are not letting up here. I'm going to put this box on this table because I want to move it quickly and have it covered. And then I'm going to go into the deep box. I don't really want to go in the deep box. Maybe I don't have to. I need to get these bees into the big hive, into the deep box, and they'll all fit in there. Should I have done this a few days ago? No. It was too cold and rainy. Oh. And now you stand still. And if you can, you walk away. I should have another lid so that I could put it right on top and keep these gals warm. I don't want to let my arms down because they always will find your armpits. They will find your underarms. I'm looking around. I set that colony on top of the lid. I will grab another lid. These bees are ready and willing to die for their hive. I don't want them to. I just want to add some pollen patty and some fondant. And the quicker I do it, the better. I can do my best to placate them and take time, or I can get it done as I get headbutted. When they headbutt you, that's their warning. They want you out of the hood, literally and figuratively. I am getting headbutted from behind and from the front. Oh my, over and over again. They're not happy. Not at all. Flying right at me. They're protective. It's cold. Ladies, I want to shut your hive up, but I can't until you let me put in some food. I need to move real slow. And then I'll give them some nice warm syrup. That'll make them happy. I may just let those bees from the upper box go in by themselves. They'll make it in. It's too cold for them to stay out. I'm going to put some fondant in there. I'm going to keep feeding them as long as they'll take it. But what that means is that by the time they get put in the bee barn, I have to remove their food, any food that I put in there. This is the one time I'm happy that the Hive Alive is stiff and awkward because it's not flying around and I don't have to move a lot. If I leave the food in there, they're going to have to defecate. And way up north where we are anti-defecation. Just kidding. Anyways, these bees will go into the bee barn when the temperature is, hold on, we're being attacked, consistently freezing during the day. Check the weather a few minutes ago. It's been changing over and over and over again. It changes. Makes sense as they get new information. I have to smush it down. I don't want any of the ladies getting crushed, even though they'd like to crush me right now. This is a time when you really have to stay calm, not flinch. Don't flinch. Don't let them see you move too much. I want to drive them down. I want to stick the feeder on. I'm not going to bother with the second box. I'll let them get in by themselves, and I'll use those frames tomorrow to be stores in the mini nukes that I have. And I'll experiment with overwintering colonies in mini nuke. Got a whole lot of bees on the bottom here. Oh, frickin' A. It just goes on. I know it's only been like 5 minutes. I don't want those bees to land on the food. So I'm puffing some smoke in here, but trying to protect them. If I can just get them away from the food, I can set this down and push on it. If I can just get my smoker to stay attached, it'll work for me. The days of lightly smoking are gone. We got a mission, must complete the mission. Could I brush them? No. Brushing wouldn't work right now. It wouldn't work. It would send them flying all over the place. It would send them all over the place. They are already highly protective. And in attack mode. I've got him as far as I'm going to get him, I think. Need to adjust that lid or that feeder, make sure it's on, secure. They inevitably end up coming back to the house with me. So I have got the second box here on top of the lid. I'm going to put some syrup in here, fill it up. Those bees are not happy. It's okay. Who said we're always going to be happy? This syrup is cold. It would be nice to warm it up and give them some extra heat. I'm not checking for the queen in here. She's here. How do I know? Maybe from doing this so long. They sound good. They're protective. They're not freaking out. They're not robbing anyone else's hive. They're still bringing in some dry pollen, even though it's late in the season. I can see that this feeder is not on all the way, and so when I strap it down, I'll do it extra tight. So we're getting into slowdown season, which means putting stuff away, making sure everything is secure. Everyone has been treated for mites and nosema, along with being treated for mites. They all get treated for everything the mites bring upon them. We've got a month to go. A month. We'll have some summer die off. Right now, I think the queen is probably not laying, which is fine. She needs a break. I don't think you can hear it, but there is a little drumming going on in there. It goes, brrr. That tells me the queen is here. That happens when the hives their queen right. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it happens to me. And I don't know if it's a correlation. I have no science or research to back that up. But I do have many occurrences of the same thing happening. I'm going to move stuff aside. I'm going to knock these bees in right next to the hive. After I get the lid free, I'll cover it up with the wool blanket. And the wool blanket's going to help retain warmth, and it'll allow a warm space for those bees to crawl into the entrance. Sometimes you just gotta cast things aside. So the best way to get the ladies from the top box into the deep box will be them going in on their own. And so I'm gonna do a tricky thing. That's why you're watching, right? Because you want to see the tricky stuff. Always learning. I want to clear this off because it's got dead leaves, moisture from the rain, dirt, pollen, dead wasps. I don't want that stuff sticking on the inside of this box. Right now I've got a piece of foam board on top of this honey super. A few bees on there. And I'm going to put it right here. Very slowly. The smoke going. I'm going to set it right next to the hive. And then I'm going to prop the opening up a little bit and cover the whole thing with the wool blanket. I'm sure I smell like the banana lady right now. It's super full. The smoke, not only does it distract them and calm them a little bit, at some point it just pisses them off, but that banana smell, the alarm pheromone, has a very distinct smell. And the smoke will mask that smell. When they sting me, they're marking the spot. So all the other bees have an easier time finding out where to sting me. They're marking the target. I need a lid for this. What I think the best idea is to put this lid back on and to get myself a different lid. So that way these guys can just chill for a little bit. Just relax. I'm going to move some stuff out of my way, get another lid, and I'll be right back. Alright, I brought back 2 lids. Brought back an extra because I'm going to have to go into another hive and I'm going to need it. Might as well have what I need. Now I'm going to bind up this hive. If you want to see me put the wool blanket on top, sure. So I'm going to tighten this hive up first. Moose are all over the place right now. Thinking about everybody's garden. They like ours. They go through and they just chomp, chomp, chomp. The broccoli, the lettuce, the cauliflower, you name it. You see big holes in them. I'm going to get the wool blanket. Not the blanket, but I see this is not tight enough yet. That feed, it just does not flatten real easily. So I gotta tighten this even more. Otherwise they're gonna catch a chill. And it makes them vulnerable, and I don't want that at all. So I'm gonna use all of my superpowers. Close that more. That looks better. Now I need a stick or something to pry open that lid. Just to hold it open for a few hours. Kind of stick. Small. I just need a real small space for bees to get through. I moved the smoker to the front, and I'm going to come around the front in a second. First, I'm going to set this up by having this ready. Pre-planning comes in real handy. If you can do it, and if you have the stuff you need. Sometimes we just don't have the stuff we need, or we can't do it. Too tired, whatever. Wool blanket. Standard military issue. It's covering all the seams. 100% wool. I think it's $20. Well worth it. It's not covering the front yet. There we go. So I'm going to cover that seam that's right near the feeder. And these back seams, we're good. So you can see how close the honey super box is. It's right here. I'm right here. Hi. I am just going to tilt this up a tiny bit. With that stick, I don't think you can even see the entrance. And I'm going to drape this over so that they can get into the deep box safely. So I had folded this blanket in half, and right now it'll cover the entrance, and you can see I've got a hive reducer in, which is actually an old towel, because I'm going to treat for varroa mites again. But I'm going to cover that And it'll also cover the entranceway into the honey super. But it'll be a pocket of warm air. There we go. And I want to keep it kind of tight up against the boxes because I don't want dead air. So I'm going to do a little nip and tuck here. Not too much. I don't want to have it hanging on the ground so that some hungry vole can get in there. I want to keep it off the ground. They will climb up anything. And make sure that we're tucked here. And I'm just sticking it under the hive. I'm hoping it stays. There we go. Thank you, Anne Chilcott of Scotland, for teaching me about wool blankets. She didn't use them this way. She uses them for insulation. But when she broke it down for me, I thought, oh my gosh, why aren't we using wool blankets for all kinds of things? This is insulative, great insulation, but it only goes in the shape it is in. It doesn't form curves and fold over, and wool does the trick. All right, take care of yourselves, take care of your bees, stay warm. You're undoubtedly warmer than we are. And see you next time.